Well, I just pushed the wrong button, so we'll start early. Hi, guys. And good morning, or almost afternoon in my time. I totally just pushed the wrong button. I was just trying to put my camera on the tripod. So you guys get a bonus 10 minutes today. I am clearly at top capacity. South Africa, that's cool. I have a bunch of friends from South Africa, actually. Suriname, South Carolina. I wish I was in South Carolina right now. It is cold here again. This winter is absolutely killing me. The weather is just so all over the place and so cold. Pennsylvania, represent. Virginia, that's close. Northern Ireland, London. My goodness, you guys are awesome. Romania. Oh boy, let me load up the chat on my computer so that I can slow it down so that I can actually see what you guys are saying, because that is scrolling. Manitoba. I'm supposed to be in Manitoba in September. Netherlands. Some of my favorite people in the world are from the Netherlands and Holland, I saw. My goodness. All right, let me load this chat. Oh, now we can hear me talking in stereo. All right, so I wanted to show you guys this morning the updates on the fish. It looks like the baby Endleys got a little frisky overnight, and sometimes with the big polypterus, you know, they don't have very good vision, so when they go to eat, anytime their mouth touches something, they explore and bite, which is why it's so important to have them at a similar size for grow out, and why I have to grow out these guys before I can add them to the big tank. They'll actually eat each other, and a couple of them looks like they were biting each other on their pectorals. Now the good news is these primitive fish heal exceptionally fast, and I would imagine within a few days they'll be just fine. Hey guys, Richard Hutchinson, who's in here, is who designed my merch for me. I did see your message. I have to get back to it after I was trying to clean some tanks, and I'm having an awkward hair day, so I was battling with that. But anyway, back to the polys. You know, one of the reasons these guys have been around for so long, survived for so long, is they have an incredible capacity to heal. They're tough as nails. So I did a big water change first thing this morning, and you know, I'll keep an eye on them, and I'll probably add some more hides here and go from there. If they continue to fight, then I'll have to split them up for grow out, which is not ideal, but you know, it is what it is. But I love them. It looks like 2 of them have damaged pectorals. My hair is the color of the German flag. I actually started dyeing it this color to meet up with some friends of mine from Germany years ago, and I just like it, so I've kept it ever since. What's my favorite type of live food to feed my nano fish? I really like Daphnia, but I also like microworms. I just hate the smell of microworms. But baby brine is also good. You know, it's hard for me to keep up with cultures all the time. I need to get a bunch started again. How do I feel about blackworms, Christy? I really dislike blackworms. Not because they're not a good food, but because they often have leeches in them. And there's a few things that are my personal kryptonite in this world, one of which is leeches. Leeches, maggots, ticks. Ugh, I just can't cope. So I don't feed blackworms because of that. However, if you are using blackworms, if you put a piece of white PVC into your blackworm bin, the leeches will all stick to the PVC. You take it out, you rinse them off, and you're good. I can't cope with leeches. I really just can't. Do I medicate my fish when I get them? Only if they're sick. I think that medications are really toxic, and they should only be used as a last resort. Someone just said they know that I quarantine. As a retailer, should they still quarantine when they get them in? I always think it's a good idea. You know, I don't do like a complete quarantine here like I would for my own, to put them into my own displays. I do a few weeks to make sure there's no obvious issues, to make sure they're eating so I know what they're eating, to allow them to color up and just make sure they're healthy and of a good body weight. But that doesn't mean that there still can't be latent things, and the act of shipping or transferring the fish in itself can be stressful. So it's always a good idea to protect yourself, protect your existing fish, and protect your new fish through the use of quarantine. What time do I go to bed? Lately, like ridiculously late. You know, I wish I had a better sleep schedule, but since so many people that I deal with, customers are in different time zones, I end up staying up usually till like 1, 2 in the morning, and then I get up at 5 most days to take my daughter into diving. I am going to be in Manitoba to speak to the Winnipeg Aquarium Society. For those who asked, are peacock gudgeons aggressive to longfin fish? I don't find them to be aggressive. I do have cichlids. I have Apistogrammas, Liaticara, that I sell. And sometimes Crebensis. Oh, and the Shelleys. I manage with coffee. This is the new mug I painted. I went to a 5-year-old's birthday party because I like to pretend I'm a child, and I painted a mug. I thought it was cute. And it certainly is functional. How many hours a day do I spend on fish? In the fish room, 8 to 9, dealing with communications, you know, editing video, all of that that's related to my hobby. In total, probably 12 plus hours a day. This is more than a full-time job at this point. Barbados, I'd love to visit there. Am I coming to Alberta? I don't think so. I haven't been invited to Alberta. I am going to Ontario in June, and I know I'm going to Manitoba I'm supposed to go in September, and then I'll probably end up back in Nova Scotia at some time. But as far as I know, not Alberta. What is the smallest gar species? Probably the Florida gars, but you know, they still get 18 to 24 inches, I believe. So they're still a big fish. Do I plan to make videos on breeding? Yes. Netherlands, hello. The comments are moving fast. What do I think of dirt and substrate? I hate it. Personal preference. I am not the kind of person who plants and never moves them again, and with a dirted substrate, like, you kind of have to plug and play, otherwise you disrupt all of that dirt and it makes a huge mess and it releases all those nutrients into the water column, and it's just really not my thing. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm just saying it's not something you will ever see me do. How does a club get me to do a talk? They email me. I usually book a year to 2 out in advance. I am really considering doing less speaking engagements though, and maybe trying to do more like meetups with you guys, but it really depends. Are there any events coming to Houston, Texas? I believe that the American Cichlid Association convention will be in Houston is it June or July? This summer. I'm not going. I will be passing through Houston, I think, in March on my way to Mexico for a speaking engagement. In Ontario, I am going to, what's the big city? Why is my, Toronto. Yeah, Peel region. Yes, that's fish pimple on my fingers. I'm a classy dame. Get a datnoid. I don't want a datnoid. They're cool fish, but they wouldn't work with what I have. Gars are funny to keep. And because my gars are already so large, it's not the time to try and mix them with other big fish. They just often do not play nice. What's more important to me is that I'm extremely attached to my gars. And gars are prone to darting, and if you add in a faster moving fish or a fish that could startle the gar, the gars can dart, hit the glass, and they can break their beak or their nose or their back, and I do not want that to happen to my babies. I really love them. So, ever kept axolotls? Yes. My fish room's too warm for them now. My Polypterus are Endlicheri's. Senegalis are way too small for me. The gar species that I have only get to 2 feet for the tropical, 3 feet for the Cuban, and the Cuban is growing super slow. So the smallest species of poly is the Senegalis. Thank you, Ted. Actually, for the BFD talk, I do plan to spawn the lasers to answer your question. I find that they are really easy to spawn. The hardest part is waiting for them to hit maturity. Like the ones I got in yesterday are maybe 1.25 inches, and it's going to take a while until they hit maturity. And I found, they generally lay their eggs, at least in my experience, on Anubias leaves. So I will be, once they get bigger, I'll be adding a bunch of that in there and see how it goes. But again, they're babies, so it's going to be probably at least 4 to 6 months before I can even sex them. I don't have them in a particularly warm tank. Have I kept convicts? Yes. Floating eggs are exciting. You haven't had a good week? I'm sorry to hear that. I had a really great day yesterday. I got my baby pollies. All the fish I ordered came in really great. I found out a dear friend of mine who had been diagnosed with cancer is clear. My daughter won her final dive meet. She was actually undefeated for the season. Go Abby. I had a really great day yesterday, so I'm sorry that you didn't. I wish I could share some of the good feels from yesterday. So it was nice. She has been doing great. I do film them. I don't put them all out. That was just high school season, so she dives for her high school team, and she dives for USA Diving, and the USA Diving season is just starting. So, and that's a lot stiffer competition. So, and she's on the younger end of her age group. They split USA Diving into age groups. So she just turned. So we'll have to see how she does. I'm sure I'll do more. She has a meet in Chapel Hill, North Carolina or South Carolina. I'm not sure which one it is. She has a meet at Virginia Tech. She's got some really big ones coming up. So some of those ones where there's thousands of people there, I may end up doing more video. But we'll have to see. It's up to her, how much, as my channel grows, I think she's going to be less comfortable being on it. North Carolina, I thought so. Are there any reliable betta breeders that we suggest in Ontario? Actually, there's a lot of really great Canadian betta breeders. I would encourage you to look at the International Betta Congress. They have a website that has a database. The first international betta show I ever attended was actually in Ontario, so I know there's quite a presence. Fish, Odo, shrimp, what order should they be introduced? I like to start with the shrimp to allow them to establish, then the fish, and then the grazers, the Otocinclus last. Are Bichir and lungfish compatible? Sometimes. Have I kept arowana? No. I don't really have any interest in keeping arowana. Do I have plans for any more fish-related tattoos? Yeah, I just got to call my tattoo artist and schedule. My opinion on red-tailed catfish is they shouldn't be sold. Dallas-Fort Worth, yes. There is a planted club as well as a general club. They have a pretty active, I think it's called the Houston Fish Box, is one. And there's a few. If you Google it, you can find it. Yeah, Virginia Tech's a good school. It's one my daughter is considering going to. She knows a couple of divers there already. Why did I choose the first fish you did for Joey? I don't know which one you're considering first. All right, let's take a look at some fish. Hey Gary. So here are the little guys. You can see this one got a bite taken out of it. Have I ever hatched any killie eggs of any kind? No, I haven't really worked with killies. What are you eating? I don't know what that Polly is eating. That's gross. But otherwise they're doing well. I don't work with pollies because, or I mean with killies, because I don't have lids on most of my aquariums. I should get some. I should go. Yeah, these are Polypterus endlicari. Look at that. Look at that little face. Look how cute they are, guys. And we'll go look at what they become in a moment. These guys will get about 20 to 24 inches. But I think that they are just the bee's knees. Let's look at the big boys. These guys need to be fed, actually. But I just did a water change, so I don't really want to pollute their tank already. Let's see if the tropical will do his wiggle dance for us. He's being kind of sedate. I'll drop some krill in for him. Might as well. Oh, jeez. That little Cuban is such a jerk. He just tried to bite me. So this is what the little guys will become. These big, big, big ones. This one's my favorite. I just love these guys. Water Godzillas. Yeah, a little bit like that. You can see how much their patterning will change as they get older too. Let's drop a little more in there. They made fast work of that. Have I ever been bitten by a gar? Yes. This one has bitten me so many times. I have a callus. He always bites my elbow. But he's bitten me so many. He's so sneaky. Like, I'll be working in the tank and I'll have a partition set up so that in theory he can't get to me, and he always manages a way to come and tag my elbow. No, the big boys don't have names. I don't generally name fish. This is my favorite one. She's so beautiful. How do I clean the tank? Very carefully. I like to have someone on lookout, honestly, because when a gar bites you, it does hurt and it does bleed, which is not much fun. So, like, you can see, this morning, with the way I have the filtration set up, there's not a lot that accumulates on the bottom. It all gets blown into the filter intake, so most of the time I just need to change volume of water. So it's not too bad, and then I have, let's see if I can find them. Oh, I have no idea where I put them. I use really, really, really long tongs to move the wood around. Mud skippers are very cool. I wouldn't mind setting up a mud skipper tank. If I had to choose one, a pistogramma or rams, a pistogrammas all day long. I am not really a ram fan. You guys want to see the Quarries? Look how cute they are. See how nice they colored up since yesterday? These are the orange laser Quarries, which I got because orange is my favorite color. And, you know, it'd been a while since I got myself any Quarries, and I really am a Quarry cat lover. I just don't like to ship them, so I don't generally keep a whole lot in the fish room. But look at them climbing the back wall. So stinking cute. And, of course, the black neons are looking great. But pistos over rams because I just don't like rams. I truly don't. I think pistogrammas are beautiful, more durable, less high maintenance. I mean, look at this female Panduro. Look at the color on that. So I just prefer pistogrammas. I mean, it's a personal choice. Super Red Plecos. I fed everyone this morning, so you'll see a lot of food debris everywhere. Morning, Ginger. There's my big male, long fin standard ancestress. He's pretty nice. And there's his female on the sponge filter. And there's a ton of their babies in here too. The pistos have an incredible spawning dance. They do the cool fry parade. They're exceptional parents. Yeah, you can see the ember tetras. Oh, my stomach just growled. I should have eaten. You can see the embers colored up beautifully too. I am not related to Kevin O'Leary. So this tank has kind of wonky lighting, so it's hard to... Oh, look, you can see my messy office through the back of the tank. Shield your eyes. Do I have gobies? I have these Stiphodon atropurpureus. Which are pretty awesome. I like to keep a pistogramma at 76 to 80 degrees. The time here, I have no idea. It's a little after noon. Oakland's too far. I don't want her to go to Oakland. I would never see her. And then I have the Rhinogobius, scarlet gobies. There's another one back there. I'm not sure where their ladies are right now. Let's see if we can find a lady to show you. Sometimes it's hard to find the gobies in this aquarium because they hide in the plants so much. This tank got a 70% water change. The gars get a lot of water changes. So like the tropical's full grown. The Cuban was part of a PhD study, and I think he might be slightly stunted from that, in all honesty. Look how gorgeous this guy is. There's the Brachydanio with the orange fins. The pistos will kill shrimp. Let's see. I don't see a female. Usually she's hanging out right over here in this Anubias. But since it was just feeding time, she could be anywhere, honestly. I don't know what crypt this is. I got it from a friend of mine in Connecticut, and it was more pinkish when she sent it to me, but in this low light, it has turned into this thicket. And also, I had planted it over here, and it moved itself over here because that's where it likes. I have goldfish right now. It's not Wenty Eye, because I have Wenty Eye. What is Captain Cranky Pants doing? Probably being grumpy. Let's take a look. What are you doing, Captain? Show everyone your ugly mug. He's so cute. Oh, he's giving you the hairy eyeball. He's such a sweetie. Yeah, Captain's a wild Oscar. An ancient one. Absolutely ancient. Yeah, he's a jerk. But I love him. I'm attached to this fish, you know. I had a dream the other night that he died, and I woke up and almost burst into tears. But that is an inevitability. He is, oh gosh, almost 13 years. Let me feed him for you guys. Let me see if I can set this up so that you can see him eat. I gotta fix this tripod here real quick. Well, you guys are all crooked. Hi, Chuck. The Catfish's roommate, yeah, Whiskey. He's right there. All right, Captain, be kind, please. He didn't try and bite me this time. That's progress. That is Whiskey's food, Captain. There's Whiskey. Four-line Pimladella. Yeah, I used my loaner camera for yesterday's video, and I've used it all week, actually. 19 years is a good long time, Shane. Yeah, Whiskey's pretty cute. See him chewing his food. He's letting those long, long, long whiskers. Pretty cool, huh? Whiskey is a four-line Pim. But we still love you best, Captain. Don't you worry. He's being so calm today. I think my Livestock are about to spawn again. Let's see if we can find the fired up male that I saw. Oh, look, there's one of my contradens. Would I keep raised? Yeah, if I sprout a money tree. Can't afford them, and I don't have a tank for them. Unfortunately. I can't find that really nice looking Livestock right now. Everybody just ate, so. Alright. Let's get this, sit my old body down. Money tree. Yeah, I need one. All the things I want to do. Mess level's only at like a 3 down here. I mean, I have siphons everywhere, but that's because new fish are in quarantine. ETA on my backyard fish room build? I don't know. I have to talk to my accountant when I do my taxes. And, you know, making money off YouTube is a new thing. I don't make that much, but I still have to figure out the whole tax thing, how much I should be setting aside and stuff before I, you know, really commit to something as expensive as another. Hi, Sean. You pooped in your lunch break? That's disgusting. Yeah, you know what, Thomas? I'm really surprised that Captain Cranky Pants leaves that catfish alone, too, especially because he has murdered hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars of appropriate tank mates. For some reason, he just likes that fish. He just likes Whiskey. You know, I have tried him with pollies. I've tried him with other kinds of catfish, common plecos, all sorts of fish, and he has murdered them all viciously. but he likes whiskey, and like whiskey was a rescue. Captain, you're such a goof. Whiskey was a rescue. A friend of mine had an aquarium that got broken during moving, and then he got another one, and then it leaked, and his wife said, so he asked me if I would take the Catfish, and I said I can, but there's only two options. One is with the big boys, which the Gars would definitely kill Whiskey, and the other was in with Captain, who's also a bone thug murderer. So I let him pick which tank, and it just is really lucky that Captain decided he likes whiskey. I am planning on getting new lights. The deal that I had been working fell through, though. I'm really disappointed. So it is what it is. Oh, man. So I ordered a bunch of plants for the 75-gallon Nano, and they came in looking like garbage, and I'm really disappointed. But I have a reshipment coming, and I made another order. Floodlights are great and cheap. You know, carnivorous plants are outside. How do I have my phone? There's a little adapter that fits into the shoe of the tripod that you can get for using a cell phone on the GorillaPod. I don't have any experience with that fish, Bert. I would not get Captain. So the thing with big fish, someone just asked if I could get Captain a girlfriend. The thing with big fish and predatory fish and aggressive fish is that they generally do better if you're going to try and pair them up if you get them at a smaller size. Captain is, you know, a full-grown adult Oscar. To try and get him a partner at this point, I think would be foolish. I think either Captain would end up killed or the other fish. You know, which is also why I really didn't expect this with Whiskey to work out, because they were both adult fish. How do I keep outdoor tubs from overheating during the summer? Increase the aeration, shade them. I plant a lot of marginals, which provide shade. Oh boy, there goes the chat again. Yeah, I showed my mug, my fancy mug. I'm so talented. I really do enjoy the process of painting pottery, though. Would I recommend Pothos? I mean, Pothos, what it did to my big tank is not typical. You can't expect to get the same results. CPD can go with cherry shrimp, but they will eat baby shrimp. I don't have any zebra odos right now, guys. What time is it? 12:30. We got a lot of time left. You guys want to see the 75-gallon Nano? It's right beside me. Pink. No, I don't have tiger barbs. They're not a fish I particularly enjoy. This is it right now. I'm waiting for a bunch of plants. This is all stuff that I pretty much pirated from around the fish room. I'm going to plant a bunch of small crypts around the base here. I'm going to glue on the rest. All those plants are just sort of wedged in there right now. So, you know, I've got to move the leaves back around, and I'm just waiting for this wood to waterlog to get that big white rock out of there. Ah, great minds, Orcus. If I could only have one plant in a tank, what would it be? Probably narrow leaf Java fern. Can you combine Endlichera with other Polypterus? Sure, if they're the same size. They actually do pretty all right for as far as upper jaw species go with large Ornatopinus. Still thinking about a beta sorority? I don't know. I don't know. Probably not, or not soon. You know, I tried to get them a couple times. The ones I wanted wouldn't come in. Yeah, I have Kubitai. You can look at the Kubitai. They're in here with the SBs. You see that green, bright green color of the kubutai? So these guys are cute. So one of the things, you know, you guys know I'm building this model community. One of the things whoa, there goes my tripod. One of those the things I want to do this year is set up thematic model communities, you know, so in a couple different tank sizes. Oh look, there's Ancestris in here. I didn't even realize that. And so I want to do like a 75, a 55, a 20 long of different model communities. Then I'll probably end up selling off those fishes, rescaping and doing a new model community, you know, like for instance, South American, Indian, Asian, whatever. And just show you guys some of the options, and again show you how fish behave when kept in different sized groups, because it can be pretty transformative to see little fish housed in large groups. And I think it's a really interesting thing to see the difference in how they behave. I'm trying to see if there's oh yeah, there's new babies running underneath those two. Can you guys see them? Right beside that green blue shell. I can't get it to focus. The babies are too small. I get the shells on Amazon. My focus did shift away from invertebrates, and that's because I think that the vast majority of retailers of shrimp in the hobby right now are crooked thieves, and I don't like the direction of the hobby. I don't like that there's so much focus on hybridization and not a focus on preservation of established lines and wild species. And I put my money where my mouth is. If I don't agree with something, I'm not going to support it. And, you know, I feel like if I continue to buy shrimp from the suppliers, then I am part of the problem. So instead, I will focus on other things. Now, as you guys know, I'm still working with all my wild lines. These are the bumblebees. I have Indian zebras. I have Indian greens. I have tangerine tigers. I have malawas. I still have my original line of cherry shrimp from 2003. So, you know, for me, at the end of the day, it's about my personal values. You know, and I hate seeing all these people getting ripped off. I hate seeing the quality that's out there right now. It's absolutely abysmal. And I hate seeing the hybrids. So it is what it is. Unfortunately, I adore shrimp, and I'm still working with, let me just count real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, about 15 species of shrimp. You just won't see me offer them for sale. So, you know, sorry to be disappointing to people. I know that a lot of you think of me as like a good, reputable source for those. And that may be true, but I still don't want to facilitate bad practices. So it's sad for me because, you know, I've been doing shrimp since 2003. Is it too cold to ship still? Yeah, it's about 25 degrees outside today, I think. Actually, I haven't even been out of the basement. It's 84 down here. I probably won't sell my bumblebee shrimp. I don't know. I have 3 tanks of them. I probably should. What I want to do is place them with other breeders. And I think that's really smart in a lot of ways. I do that often if I get in really rare fish that I'm breeding. I'll split up the group and share them with some other people that are capable, and then that way if something happens to my fish and they're breeding them too, I can get them back. Same thing with shrimp. 2003, you were in 2nd grade. I'm old. Yeah, Virginia is usually about 10 to 15 degrees warmer than us. That's exactly what's happening here in Northie. Just a couple days ago, it was nearly, I guess it'd be about 30 degrees Celsius, so like 80 degrees. And today it's down below freezing. So it's terrible. Good school size of rummy nose for a 55 gallon. I would get at least 15. Still what? Planning to build a greenhouse? I have a greenhouse. I built it last year. These swinging temps, bad for the Sarracenia. As long as they get their 40 days at 40 degrees or lower, they'll be fine. The one thing I have been worrying about is that they're drying out, but I'm gonna go check them around Valentine's Day-ish time and see how they're doing. I have some videos of the greenhouse. Once it's not winter, I will be working out there quite a lot because I have a couple thousand gallons of bins out there to set up for fish. I need to run the air for it. I need to set up the water system. I need to do lots of things. I've got a bog garden I'm gonna build this year. Do you guys remember those big concrete circular sinks I have? I'm gonna turn those into bog gardens. Move a lot of my Sarracenia out there. So, I mean, I have a lot of plans for this year. Let's see if I can get it all done. You know, I've got a very ambitious brain, but a very broken right knee. So we'll see what happens. Hey, Bob. Orchids. I have an orchid upstairs. I don't know what kind it is, so don't even ask me. It was given to me over 2 years ago at one of the pig roasts and open houses I hosted here. And I had been slowly killing it all that time, and I just recently repotted it into long fiber sphagnum, and all of a sudden it's got new leaves, and I've got a flower stalk or a spike coming out, and I'm really excited because I thought I was just going to murder it slowly, and instead now it's really thriving. $20 long, okay for a pistos, yep. Sparkling gouramis, let me show you guys those real quick. I can't make dwarf crayfish videos. Crayfish are illegal in my state. Let's see. There's some of the sparkling gouramis. See them in the middle there? The blue eyes. Aren't they cute? No, CPDs are always available. They're farmed en masse. So these guys are fantastic because you can keep them in groups. They've got teeny tiny little mouths. They're absolutely adorable. And they make noise. Yes, I've raised clownchillies. You like my water spots, Chuck? I am a pro water spot breeder. These are Trigonostigma samfangzi. Those guys. I just feed them small foods, Ginger. Yeah, Emmy, they make a little like croaking sound. You can't hear it in my fish room because my fish room has quite a bit of noise pollution, as you guys are aware. I just think they're so cute. I'm sorry, I got mesmerized by my Barbuca diabolica. Those guys. I still need to move them into the 150. Super tiny tetras. Poisolacherax weitzmani. That's these dudes. They're super teeny. I need to get a light on this tank. Otherwise you guys won't really see them. I like the noise of my fish room. Someone asked to see the black nans. I showed them earlier, but I'll show them again. They make an impressive school. Right now they're eating. There's O-nip stuck to the glass, so they're not as directional as they normally would be. Tiny noodlefish does have scientific name with diabolica in it. Oh, I don't even have it written on the glass. I was going to show you. It's Barbuca diabolica. But the mermaid hooks, I got them in Brooklyn. The idea was that I would hang my nets on them and make less of a mess. We can see how that's worked out. I have a whole bunch of them. They're really cute. I love mermaid stuff. Where do fish names come from? Well, the genus names are established. Usually they're based somewhere in Latin or older language, and then the species name will come from often whoever describes it chooses that, and sometimes it can be from how the fish looks, how it behaves, or sometimes it's named after a person, like the Poecilocharex weitzmani is named after Stan Weitzman. So, you know, sometimes they are kind of strange though. The reason Barbuca diabolica are named diabolica is because their eyes glow red. Yeah, name one after yourself is definitely the rule. Yep, samfong. There's a lot of fish, and that's one of the tricks to remembering how to pronounce some of these Latin names for the fish is if it looks like a person's name, it probably is. So it makes it a bit easier. What can you feed your 9-inch biker if they don't like to eat feeders? I pellet feed mine, or you could try freeze-dried krill. You can try earthworms. All kinds of stuff. How often do I feed my personal fish? Depends on which ones. Like big boys get fed 2 times a week. Captain gets fed about every other day. Tanks with fry get fed 2 times a day. You know, it really just depends on what kind of fish they are. But regardless, they all get fasted 1 day a week, usually on the main water change day. Not for any reason other than I like to see the tanks completely clean at least once a week. Which, as you can imagine, with managing all these aquariums, all the tanks are never completely clean at all the same time. Captain, they want to see more of you. Do you believe it? He's stealing Whiskey's food currently. I'm sorry. I got distracted. Thank you, Michael. Sweden. I'd love to visit there, too. I've been asked to do a demo at the Catfish convention, which is generally held in Herndon, Virginia. And I believe it's either this October or this November. They want me to do a hill stream demo. So I'm still mulling that over, but I may very well do that. So if you're interested in seeing me set up a hill stream tank live, that would be the place and the only place to ever probably see that. And that's a fantastic convention. Some of my favorite humans in the world will be attending. Any tips on how to get Gar to eat a variety of foods? My baby only eats bloodworms. Try adding things like pellets at the same time you're feeding the bloodworms, or putting the pellets or whatever into the bloodworm liquid so they smell like bloodworms. There's lots of different strategies. 68 to 70 is a bit chilly for scarlet batis long term. Barbuca dialalalalalaka. Do I have plans to be in Dallas? Not currently. Grindleworms are great. I love grindleworms. Not personally, I would never eat them, but I like to feed them to my fish. Do I have a blackwater setup? Quite a few. Cranky Pants, you know, part of that is his tank's not lit, so I don't do a whole lot of filming of him. The other thing is I get tired of hearing how ugly he is. I mean, this is an old fish. He's 13 years old. You know, he's imperfect. I love him to death. But, you know, he's got that big pimple by his eye. Not all of his fins are perfect. He's constantly doing stupid things like smashing into the glass to beat up his own reflection. So he's never, like, perfect. And, you know, the comments section can be a dark and scary place. And I just don't like hearing people trash him because I love the fish. So, I don't do a whole lot of videos of him. I mean, really, I mean... Although, you know, I have considered getting baby Oscars to grow them out again because it was so much fun. Right now, if he keeps doing it, I'm going to turn the camera for you guys. Right now, he is spinning in circles and then running from one end of the tank to the other. He's such a goofball. Perfection is highly overrated. He certainly has 80 tons of personality, is of a solid weight, nice coloration. I mean, he's a nice fish. He's just not show quality, and people like to beat you up about that. But, I mean, I've never seen an Oscar as old as he is that's in perfect condition. So, you know, it is what it is. He's obviously healthy. Someone had asked earlier what size aquarium that is. It's a 75 gallon. It was only intended to house just Captain Cranky Pants, but then, you know, I added whiskey way later. You can keep a baby biker in a 75 until it's having trouble turning. The thing with Polypterus and a lot of the big predatory fish like them is that they don't really swim around that much. They kind of like, what they do in the wild is they sort of lay there and wait until prey goes by, and the only time they get really active is when they're going to eat. So, you know, while you shouldn't keep them in small aquariums, what's most important is that they can comfortably eat and move when they're eating. So it's more about the dimension front to back of the aquarium so that they have a good turning radius than the actual size of the aquarium. Whiskey is full grown. Whiskey is also, I think, 8 to 10 years old. He's not a young fish. The guy who got him had him from the time he was teeny tiny. I think he got him at PetSmart or something and grew him out. And he was very attached to them, which is why I took him in. How to get his name Whiskey? I have no idea. I didn't name him. He came with the name. Favorite small fish with the biggest personality? That's a good question. Well, what size tank? 20 gallon? I mean, Apistos have a ton of personality. But if you want even smaller than that, Dario or Dario Hysingyan have a lot of OP puffers. Yeah, but they're not a good community fish. Bettas are good. I would not mix all the different Bottas or Dario species. They can hybridize. The nippiest fish I own, that Cuban gar. He's a jerk. German blue rams are sassy. They're not my preference. I don't know if they're too sparkly or something. I don't know. I'm not a girl that's into a lot of glitter. I like the understated elegance and beauty of the wild Gouramis. I like Bettas. I have one upstairs. Sid Fishes is his name. You guys named him for me. Have I ever wanted an assistant? Every day, but I don't want to train one. The problem, I mean, I get offers all the time. The problem is like almost every aspect of my business or running it down here is specialized to the situation down here, and to train somebody, to take the time to train somebody to help me, I might as well just get it done. Yeah, I have wild bettas. They're in a black water tank. You're not going to see anything but black water. I mean, brown water. I've never had my polypterus bite me, but I've never given them the opportunity either. That's not really something I want to encourage. Pygmy sunfish, yes, I do plan on getting pygmy sunfish to work outside this summer. Probably Okefenokes or Evergladii. When am I updating my lighting? After I buy my new camera. Cardinal tetras love tannins. In fact, I keep them in a tannin-filled tank right now. Aquarium lighting, yeah, I mean, I had... I'm not going to air my dirty laundry. I had a sponsored deal started and it just fell through. They wanted me to pay too much money for something that I wasn't sure would be exactly what I wanted anyway. Tropical Furt upstairs is working out great. If my husband works the night shift, otherwise I'd take you guys up and show you. I'll do an update. I mean, I did an update I think a week or two ago, but I'll throw it into maybe next Thursday's video. I need to update a lot of things down here. I have a lot of things I want to get done, but we'll have to see. Let's see. Resources for killifish, the American Killias, or is it the American Killi, the AKA? Yeah, American Killifish Association. It's probably the best place to look. What's the weirdest thing a guest has done at my house? In what capacity, Bob? You know, one time I found a guy sleeping in my yard. That was kind of weird. But I'm not sure. Do you mean in the fish room? Or at one of my parties? Because my parties can get pretty wild. I don't think it was you, Bob. He wasn't tall enough to be you. 30 neon tetras. Suggestions for Quarries and Plecos and Citrus. You can't go wrong there. Quarries, I mean, there are so many species. It really comes down to what you like. That is true about the hardwood leaves, Madus. I like to use oak leaves as well. I prefer the almond leaves just because they're thicker, they stay put, they last a lot longer, and they have some medicinal properties that not every leaf has. So my preference is for almond leaves. But you can't beat free, so if you have oak or maple or things like that, or even banana leaves are good, mulberry leaves are good, things like that, can't beat free. Magnolia are good, yes. Why do I only have one tank of big fish? Because I like little fish. I just also like big fish. I'd rather have a whole lot of fish instead of just a couple of tanks. Just my preference. Plus, I'm a business, you know, so a lot of these aquariums are for selling fish. You know, now if I hit the lottery or something, maybe I would have a lot more big tanks and big fish, but I don't foresee that happening because you have to play the lottery to win the lottery, and I don't gamble because all I do is lose. Hardiest pleco, probably Ancistrus. Have I kept any other Tanganyikans? Yes. There's Cyprichromis in there too. And I've kept Julidochromis. I really want to get the little grumpy face dudes. Calvus. Maybe I should do that soon. I really like their grumpy little faces. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I think they're Neolamprologus. Calvus. Like... such a grumpy old man face. I really want to get some. Originally, I was going to put them in with the Shelleys, but I didn't want them to eat my fry. But, you know, yeah, Altos, Altolamprologus. Oh, you guys want to see the baby bikers again? Oh, my knee. Look at this guy laying in the plants. He's just chilling. He's planking. You see that? I don't want a flower horn. Maybe you missed my discussion about hybridization with shrimp. I feel basically the same way about fish. Aren't they cute? Binky Binky Binks. They're so cute. I'm so happy with them. These guys will get 2 feet. But it'll take a couple years. So, I've got time. How long have I had them? I got these yesterday. Yeah, there are lots of smaller species of polypterus. One of my favorite is Polypterus delhesi. They look a lot like my Endleys, but there's 2 main types of polys. There's upper jaw and lower jaw. I keep lower jaw, which are the species that get really, really big. If you look at the upper jaw species, there's a lot of species that don't get massive, you know, like stay under 18 inches, which I know sounds ridiculously large. But there's quite a few that stay in that like 12-inch range, which means you could keep them in a 75, a 120. For embers, if you can get at least 20. Oh, you have a 125-gallon tank. I would get maybe 50 or 60 and build on that. I have 100 up in that little 20 long. You could easily even go that big. What time is it? My radar that it's been an hour was going off, but then I realized I accidentally started the live stream 10 minutes early because I'm an idiot and pushed the live button. Yay, Rachel. Thanks for coming by, to those of you that had to leave. Do I have any rainbows? Yep. Did you hear that? You might have seen it in the background. There's a little kerfuffle in the 220. I wouldn't keep Microdevaria cubitai with discus. Discus like things way too warm. You heard it, Bob? Big fish. I don't think it was a fight. I think it was, you know, remember what I was saying earlier about gars startling? You know, gars, when they're trying to exhibit dominance or things like that, they slap the water surface, which is what that sounded like. I think that one of them was, you know, just showing dominance, so they slapped the crap out of the water surface. I just fed Captain a few minutes ago. What are you doing, dude? We can go take a look at the big boys. I'm pretty positive that they were not fighting. What were you doing? It's you that made that loud noise. Why do you look so sheepish now? 1, 2, 3. See? And the little guy's fine. Nobody even has any marks. Usually if they fight, somebody's pectoral fins are totally shredded and they're both intact. Ooh, what? Who, me, Mom? I would never slap the surface. Never, ever. This is the only fish capable of making that noise. He's so big. You also notice that that's why I keep the water level dropped a bit, is so that they don't hit the glass lids. Plus, they're surface breathers. But what they do is they go right up to the surface and they open their mouth really wide and then they slam their lower jaw on the surface of the water, and that's what makes that noise. It can be startling. But yeah. You scared the people. Not nice. And you notice I dropped a ton of food in this aquarium and it's all gone. Or, yeah, see, he's totally intact. Usually when they fight, this little guy's fins up here get shredded. Thank you, Dopes. Hard or soft water for panda, Corey? I mean, they come from softer water, but they adapt pretty well. I would say stable water is what's really needed. I could watch these guys all day. You know, I just fed them and they're here begging for more. Silly fish. What else didn't we look at? I don't even know. I don't even... Look at this snail. They crack me up with how they do their balancing acts. Why is it so bright? Oh, the Nano? It's fine. Whoa. Let me adjust this. Doing good. Still a fish tank. There's blue shrimp right there. And a crystal black. So. And then there's the little Brooklyn tank right next door. And this plant has taken off like crazy all of a sudden. You want to see Apistos? Let me see if I can find some Apistos. I have Borelli in the back, right there. The umbrella, they're also called, I think, maybe. You guys know me in common names. I'm horrible. I don't know where they all are. There's 20 in this aquarium, but I only ever see a couple at a time. Oh, here's one right in the front, little female. See her? They're cute. So these are, again, Apistogramma borelli. Let's see. I have a bunch of random Apistos in here, like odds and ends and leftovers. So we won't really look at them. Let me grab my I need to grab a step stool. There's Apistos in here. Right there. These are Uratus or something like that. They're very shy. Oh, let's see if we can see the Trifasciata. Let's see if we can find them. With this big mass of like messy moss. No, I just haven't cleaned them out. Kate asked if there's a benefit of leaving empty snails. There is if there's a lot of snails, because it adds... There's Trifasciata female. One of you tried to tell me that that's not really a female. I beg to differ. That is definitely a female Apisto. Here's a boy. See the dorsal ray on him? Look at that, look at that. Oh my word, what a sexy fish. Look how long that is. Good dither for Apistos. I really like pencils. Look at this fish though, real quick. I'll show you some pencils in a minute, but look how sexy this fish is. Orange dorsal, spangling on the cheeks. Ugh, I love them. And that's all natural. That's a wild fish. So pencils. These are Nanostomus marginatus. They're one of my favorites. They stay very much generally in the top third of the aquarium. They have tiny little tube-shaped mouths. So I think that they are absolutely wonderful with Apistogrammas. I like green neons with Apistos. My personal favorite pencil fish are stupid expensive, but wonderful. They're these guys, the barred pencils. Now these guys can go anywhere from $14 to $20 a piece, but they are so sexy. Nanostomus equus are really great, the diptail or hockey stick pencils. They're neat too, because I don't have any right now, but they're neat because they hang out at a 45-degree angle, and they have a really cool diurnal rhythm, meaning their color changes from day to night. But these guys are absolutely stunning. Oh, look, there's the male Apisto in the other aquarium. We can watch them both. How cooperative of him to move into my view. So, you know, like I like things like head and tail lights, which are in the tank we were just looking at. I mean, the black neons will work well. These guys would probably work well. These are the Phoenix Tetras, which I'm kind of enamored with. I really like this finnage, and that, you see that red in the anal fin? It's really pretty. I need to do a species spotlight on these guys yet, I think. Look how pretty these guys are. Understated, elegant. They look fantastic with plants. So, I'm just waiting to see. Well, you can see the obvious sexual dimorphism. The boys have way longer fins and much more red. The females are smaller bodied but rounder. You guys see what I mean? That's a pretty fish. That like typical Hyphasobricon eye, the red hooding, so pretty. I love fish. What a dork. You guys know I'm a sucker for anything with blue eyes, fish-wise. I just had to show you these again. So yeah, for Apistos, I mean, all of those things will work well. I think I'm going to take a poll with you guys for choosing the livestock for at least part of this aquarium. I know I want to move those Apistogramma trifasciata in here. I know I want to have Otocinclus. I know that I want to have a pencil species, probably those barred pencils, and then a tetra species. So what I'll probably end up doing is on the community tab of my page, I will put a poll at some point for you guys to vote on which species of tetra. I don't like to mix Quarries with Apistos, so that won't be happening. Though at some point I would like to do a large aquarium that does feature a lot of dwarf Quarries, because it's really, 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 really stunning to see them in big, big groups. Let's see what time it is. I actually should probably do some work today. Yeah, we got about maybe 10 minutes. Oh, no, actually I'm over time. I'll give you guys a couple more minutes and then I gotta finish cleaning fish tanks. Yeah, I need to update my stock list. I mean, I'm not shipping, so I'm not in a hurry. I just need to do it. I have to come down here and write down, well, like take my computer around down here and figure out what I have that I don't have on there, what I've sold out of, all that stuff. It's just not a big priority when I'm not shipping. You know, as far as when I'm going to start shipping again, as soon as the weather stops being so all over the place. You know, the problem is it's not just my weather that's a problem. When there's lots of rain in the place, I mean, FedEx gets delays from service alerts, or gets service alerts from weather at the hubs too. So I just have to make sure it's safe. And the problem with it being winter is that if there is a delay, you know, that extra time is fatal, and I just don't like to risk the health of the fish if I don't have to. So it is what it is. You know, my wallet certainly doesn't like me not shipping. It's been kind of brutal. I've only shipped like 1 week since before Christmas, and that is not good for paying the bills, but it's good for the fish. And of course, if I ship fish and they show up dead, you know, I lose the money anyway, and the fish are lost. So I'd just rather not do that. The dive team's doing great. She just won. She made varsity last night as a freshman and was undefeated in her high school season. She has a meet tomorrow. We have to leave at 5 a.m. We're going to Parkland or something, which is near Allentown. And then the club season starts. But I really appreciate all you guys coming to spend some time with me. I'll keep you updated on those baby pollies and all the new fish in the fish room, and I will get my stock list updated by the end of the weekend. I am going to be gone all day tomorrow, so maybe if I get to it today, or maybe not. So thanks guys. See you next Friday.